So today's video, we're gonna try to give you a sense of why do we think people stay in Portland or even the Pacific Northwest? A lot of people talk about leaving. A lot of people talk about what our challenges are. We get it. We got it. We understand it. But there are reasons, like Eric and I have this conversation all the time, like why the heck do people live in Portland? And we're gonna talk about that in the video today, so stick around. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in the greater Portland metro area, make sure you click that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so that you can be the first to know about everything in the Portland area. We're your go-to gals. This is Erica Hagfirst. I'm Ann Stewart. And if you are making a move, please reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description below. We'd love to connect with you and help you make that move out to the Portland area. All right, Erica. So we're going to open up the topic. We're just going to talk fluidly about why we believe people live in Portland and stay in this area and even, dare I say, move back.
Oh yeah. So number one reason, lifestyle. We have it all. I went through this dilemma in 2010. I was like super happy. My life was perfect. And I wanted to like jazz it up.
Well, where were you living at the time?
I was living here. I was living in Portland, but I am a blessed individual in the sense that I've grown up in the Pacific Northwest all my life. And I thought, I'm gonna go explore somewhere. And I tried to find some place and I realized it was not as good as the Northwest. So I'm one of these people. I moved back for the lifestyle. We have everything here. We have the coast and the ocean. We have the mountains. We have the valley. We have the high desert, all within a couple of hours.
Yeah, at our fingertips.
I mean, it does not get any better than that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I spent a long time trying to figure out, is there any place as good as the Northwest? There is not, by the way. So, let's dive into some of these different aspects of it. I'm sorry, I'll cut myself off. And then we have the food scene on top of that. So, you think about the coast. I mean, that's always like the coast and the mountains. It's like, which are you? Well, you can be both here. And I can't tell you how
I'm a mountains girl.
Yeah.
I go to the mountain a lot. I know people that go to the coast a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, here, what's so cool is that you can be both.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that, during the summer, and not that our coast is amazing in the summer. Our coast is almost better in the winter when it's stormy out. But you can go to the beach, you can hang out, and you could even in the same day go up to the mountains and do something up there. And, they've got year-round activities now. If you want to be up in the mountains, if you want to be hiking, which is the other amazing thing that we've got down in the gorge or down in, outside the Salem area.
Hiking trails all over.
Everywhere. Even in Portland, we've got wonderful hiking trails. You've got the out towards Vernonia and Gaston in the Sub-Stewart Banks. That's what I meant. In the Sub-Stewart State Park. And that's the coolest thing about here is if you want to be outside, you want to be connecting to nature, you can do it here. Even in the city, we've got Wildwood and Leif Erikson trails. I mean, you can just go running and spend, hundreds of miles of trails just right there, right in the city. So
and the other thing to point out about that is it doesn't get so hot that you can't enjoy it during the really beautiful months like spring, summer, and fall, where everybody's outside during those months because it's very temperate. Yeah, it can rain in those months too, but usually it's not where you have to be stuck inside because it's so hot.
Well, and we all know the cool thing about living in the Northwest is you just learn how to dress for whatever the season is so that you can still be outside. It is really, in my opinion, the main reason that we live where we live. And that is just because you can do everything within a very close proximity. There is no getting on a plane if you want to go to the mountains. There is no getting on a plane if you want to go to the coast.
Yep.
You can just get in your car and it's like an hour to hour and a half drive and you're there and you just get to enjoy it. Well, and we have so many different aspects to it.
Well, and I would like to point out that I'm a skier. I enjoy the mountains. There's a lot of people that enjoy the mountains. You don't have to be a skier or a snowboarder to go to the mountains. People, they have a big...
Sledding?
Sledding is huge up there.
It's amazing.
People take their families up there all the time. There's cute cabins you can rent.
There's snowshoeing.
Snowshoeing. I mean, there's just a myriad of things to do up at the mountain. And the thing I like about it is when it is kind of dark and rainy, maybe down here in the, Portland area, we just head up to the mountains and it's just a beautiful day of skiing. But it's so nice that you can literally take a day trip and just go up there, ski, come back down. You don't have to make a big thing of it. It's a day activity.
Yeah, or you could even just go and like play in the snow. I mean, we've got so many cool things, and that's kind of how our beaches are. Our coast is super cool. Like grew up, we would go to the coast a lot when it was stormy. So you could kind of watch the big crashing waves. And, you know, our ocean is not really warm enough to go play in at all. So, you know, it's never like you were going to play in the water.
There's kind of a cool vibe when you go down to the coast and it's stormy. Like, go to Moe's and get, like, you know,
there's
clam
great
chowder.
Restaurants, exactly.
Yeah.
Clam chowder is our jam here.
Yeah.
You know, deep fried fish and chips. I mean, all the good stuff is still great. And then the cool thing is that during the summer, all those Manzanita and Seaside and Cannon Beach, they all have great ice cream shops as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, definitely the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And it's really, you know, the lifestyle is really what brought me back.
And the food scene. I mean,
the food.
You know, you hear about it. Like, we've been labeled as one of the best food scenes anywhere in the country, which always kind of surprises me because I've been to some really good, like, New Orleans and Chicago and all these other places. But truthfully, we have an amazing food scene. We are not big on franchises. Sure, we have a few of them. But when you come here, you hear about the restaurants where people are renowned chefs are running the place. And there's lines out the door for people to get in. And, you know, some of the, you know, places you've heard about that are even expanding outside of Portland, like Salt and Straw, and I've even heard about, you know, the Voodoo Donuts is finding its way in other places around the country. Those places all started in Portland, and they've been iconic to our area, and a lot of chefs come into our area to start their careers, to start their own restaurants. That's where a lot of people land, is here. So it's not surprising to get into the food scene and realize, oh my gosh, that person was on that Food Network show and won, and he or she started their own restaurant here.
Yeah.
So it's all over in Portland. I would say it's primarily on the east side. It's got a vibe on the east side, but you do see some on the west side. But there's also other just really great restaurants, you know, that are privately owned in the area.
Well, and on the flip side of that, we have a massive food cart scene.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it's like Portland has its
We should take
pods.
these guys on a tour sometime.
We should.
Yeah.
Portland has several different pods of food carts. So, I mean, it's even better than just your one-off food cart.
Yeah.
You can go to these lots that they've created, and you've got, you know, 15, 20 food carts to go enjoy. And all of the surrounding cities have them.
Yeah.
I was just at an event last weekend in Oregon City, and this is the other cool thing that they're starting to do is they'll have these lots for the food carts, and you've got, you know, whatever it is, 20 food carts, and then you have a bar attached to it.
Beer garden.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your cocktails, you can get your beer, you can get whatever you
and
want.
everyone has their own choice of food, so you're not, you know, stuck with one option.
Absolutely fantastic. And I mean, the food is amazing. It's just, what do you want to eat that night? And, you know, so I think we've got this whole realm of everything. You know, it's like you've got high-end food, you've got, you know, street food, and then to add on to that, we've got the beverage scene as well. So, you know, the microbrews are big here. We've got the wine from the Willamette Valley. We also have the coffee, which, you know, everybody knows we love our coffee here in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really just this, like, all-encompassing food scene. Whatever you want, we've got it.
Yeah. There's a whole culture behind the food and beverage scene here, and depending on where you go in the Portland metro area, it just has it gives you a sense of real appreciation for, you know, the grassroots of some of these places that have created these beers or wines, or we're even seeing a lot of liquors showing up around town. So we're just kind of becoming that place to go when you want to experience food and beverage. So the other thing we thought a lot about is, what's another reason people choose to stay living in Portland or moving back to Portland? What's the draw? Well, we thought a lot about that, and clearly it's jobs.
Yeah.
So you probably have heard we have some key main places here, such as Nike and Intel. So we have a lot of high tech here, not just Intel, which, you know, a lot of their fabs and main operations are here, but we have other types of sports companies like Nike and Under Armour and Adidas, and there's some other ones here. And then there's just a myriad of other companies that have found their roots here or have laid groundwork here to have their employees work, and these jobs pay well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Really well. I mean, it's the big draw. Obviously, we're on the coast. We're still probably the most reasonably priced city of what's on the West Coast, but, you know, it is getting more expensive to be here, and companies and businesses are paying accordingly. We're, you know, we've got a lot of great outdoors type and tech type jobs, and, you know, obviously it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that people move here for a lifestyle. You know, I mean, if you've been to the Nike campus, you know that they're all about getting you outside. And, you know, kind of the same with some of these other areas or other businesses, is that we want to go out. We want to have the tools to go out and enjoy this life. And that's what they're really all about. So it's been, it's interesting, but you generally, when you talk to people, it's like, you know, the jobs bring them here, but then once they're here, if they get moved away, they want to come back because they've experienced what it's like to live in the Northwest. This area is really hard to beat. Like I said, you know, in 2010 or 2009, somewhere around there, I made this big decision. I had a really, you know, everything was kind of set. And I wanted to be one of those people who had like experienced another area just to make sure I wasn't like towing myself into one tiny little corner of this country. And yet it just doesn't get any better than this. We've got, you know, all these wonderful things right at our fingertips. And we've got, you know, 4 seasons to go out and enjoy them in. I mean, I would say if anything, that's probably the number 3 thing that brings people here is that we have 4 very distinct seasons. And they're all relatively mild. You know, so our winter, we maybe get a little snow, but it's not like living in Colorado. It's not like living in Wyoming or some of these areas that get like dumped on.
Extremist.
Exactly. And we get a little bit warm in the summer, but we're not like in Arizona where that's your, you know, come summer that it's going to be minimum 100 to 120 every day.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like the prediction that I always think is some of these areas around the country are just getting hotter and hotter. And the population in those areas have gotten so big that I think a lot of people are going to make changes and decide that, hey, you know, it's more important for them to not be in these extreme heat zones and move back or move to the Pacific Northwest. I mean, we hear it all the time from people moving from like places like Arizona or Texas where they just went through the summer and they're like, oh, I just don't want to be inside all the time with those heat, you know, because they have to be stuck inside, you know. And here it's like, even though we might get cold or even a little warm, we're never so extreme you can't be outside. So year round, we're enjoying things. Now, yes, you have to tolerate the rain, but a lot of times when corporations are moving their people from one part of the country to the next, a lot of people get excited about the fact that, oh, my company has a place in Portland, so I'm going to choose to live there. And we've even seen a lot of our clients post on social media after they've moved here about how they love going on all the hikes. Like they do more than we do, and we've been here a lot longer. They're like, oh my gosh, we love Portland. There's so much to do, you know. But those are really the 2 reasons why we think people stay in Portland and also move back or move to, because honestly, it's really tough to beat that lifestyle. It's hard to find all of this anywhere else in the country at the level at which it's here. And it is beautiful here. Now, we're not discarding. This video is not about the challenges Portland and Oregon have. Okay, we're aware of that. Yeah. So, you know, but
to be honest, I mean, it is a really hard place to be. I mean, I don't know of too many other locations where you can have the mountains, the, you know, ocean and the valley and, you know, everything in between. I mean, we've got the gorge, which is its own, like, just cool place. But there's so many interesting aspects to this state and, you know, to the Portland metro area specifically, that it really just makes it hard to not want to be here, especially if you want to be active and outdoorsy.
Yep, I would agree with that. So hopefully you guys got some really good insight into why we think people stay, move here, move back. We see it all the time. We hear it all the time. Portland's a great place to live. And so if you guys have further questions, or hey, make some comments down below. If you think we missed something that you're like, hey ladies, this is why I stay, or this is why I moved back, we would love to hear those. And if you are thinking about making a move, of course you can always reach out. All of our contact information is below, and we will see you guys on the next video. Bye.
Bye. That's all, folks.